Good morning, Bruce.
Good morning, Donna. How are you today?
I am
I
fantastic.
love that. I love that. I
Yeah,
love that.
yeah.
Fantastic.
I love being here. I love doing this. And I especially love it when we get requests.
Yes, and I do too. I can't help but give into that little part of me or a big part of me that's my ego. I love being on the radio talking to people, and I love to hear myself talk. But I do love this, that we have these requests. And we've been talking about the requests that we're doing because we want everybody to know that we're getting to them as best as we can, and they will be coming up. We have to do them in the order that we kind of look at them and see them, and so we don't really have an order for that. That was a long way of saying that we're kind of out of order, so thank you for your patience.
Yes, and this one's from Gail
Yay.
in Nashville, Tennessee.
Holy
Thank
cow.
you so much, Gail, for
Yeah.
listening to WQEE 99.1 FM.
Oh my gosh, from Nashville, Tennessee, that's exciting.
Yes, yes.
Gail has requested the song Tears and Rain by James Blunt. And I'm excited about this because this song is very full. It's got a lot of substance to it that I think is going to be really fun to talk about.
Yay, I don't think I know this song. I'm
Well-
not familiar with James Blunt.
No, and I have listened to a little bit of his music, but no, I am not familiar with this song in particular. But I'm not going to lie. Scanning over these lyrics, I am amazed at what you guys are about ready to listen to. So without further ado, you ready for this?
Yes.
Me too. Let's go for Tears and Rain by James Blunt. How I wish I could surrender my soul, shed the clothes that become my skin, see the lyre that burns within my needing. How I wish I'd chosen darkness from cold. How I wish I had screamed out loud. Instead, I found no meaning. I guess it's time I run far, far away and find comfort in pain. All pleasure's the same. It just keeps me from trouble, hides my true shape like Dorian Gray. I've heard what they say, but I'm not here for trouble. It's more than just words. It's just tears and rain. How I wish I could walk through the doors of my mind, hold memory close at hand, help me understand the years. How I wish I could choose between heaven and hell. How I wish I would save my soul. I'm so cold from fear. I guess it's time I run far, far away, find comfort in pain. All pleasure's the same. It just keeps me from trouble, hides my true shape like Dorian Gray. I've heard what they say, but I'm not here for trouble. Far, far away, find comfort in pain. All pleasure's the same. It just keeps me from trouble. It's more than just words. It's just tears and rain. Oh, tears and rain. Far, far away, find comfort in pain. All pleasure's the same. It just keeps me from trouble. It's more than just words. It's just tears and rain.
Deep song.
It's very deep. This is the deep end of the pool.
How I wish I could surrender my soul, shed the clothes that become my skin. I think that is very, very, it tells the story of the whole song.
Yes.
Of tears and rain.
Yes.
Right?
I couldn't agree with you more.
Yes, because surrendering the soul to me it can mean so much, because in the soul is memory,
Yes.
is our DNA, is ancestry.
Yeah.
And yes, we are here on a beautiful mission, perhaps,
Yes.
of learning and discovering what our soul holds.
Yes.
If there is darkness in there, if there is pain from the past, and I'm
Yes.
talking about past
Oh,
lives and
yes.
things like that.
Yes,
We
yes,
do
yes.
carry it, and
Yeah.
it's that people resonate as their soul,
Yes.
and they wish they could surrender it.
They do. They do.
And shed the clothes that become my skin.
Absolutely.
Meaning for me that you wear your feelings.
Yes. Some would say that you wear your heart on your sleeve.
Yes, there you go.
And
yes.
it's to me, that's the, if you happen to resonate with that out there listening to this, and that's how you feel. I've been told that too. I think my father actually told me that when I was younger. Bruce, you wear your heart on your sleeve, meaning to them, or trying to tell me that basically it can be easily hurt because
Right.
it's out there in the open for anybody to target, if you will. However, it is also, to me, it's a testament to the idea that we're not necessarily afraid of being hurt, because we can put our heart out there, and that's not necessarily why we're wearing it on our sleeve, is so that we hope that it gets hurt. We just have the confidence of knowing that that's a possibility.
Yeah.
And so I wonder sometimes, but at the same time, sometimes we do want to take off that shirt that wears the sleeve that we put the heart on, because sometimes that heart, we just don't want it out there like that.
Right.
And so,
right. And that's how I believe the wish to surrender the soul comes
Yes.
in, because
then
of the pain you feel when that heart gets hurt.
When that heart gets hurt. And it could also become my skin, the clothes that become my skin. It's because sometimes we feel like we become a role in our life instead of our soul. And the role that we play in this game or in this existence of life can become the thing that is our clothes, which we feel like, can I just take this off so I can feel like I don't have to go to work today and be fake to somebody so I can make it through my day? Like a fake it to make it kind of moment.
Oh my gosh, yes, Bruce,
know?
I can't get this out of my head right now. I keep hearing the emperor's new clothes.
Yes. Yes.
Because that's what happens. We put the clothes become our skin. They become who we are.
Yes.
We do things because we are wounded and we don't want those wounds to show. Like the emperor wanted, to be the best.
Yeah.
And so, he wanted his clothes to be the finest in the world because he thought he was the finest in the world. And he went strutting out to the public to show his new clothes.
He did.
And who was it? A child.
It was a child.
The innocence
Yes.
of the child.
Yeah.
That just said, but you're not wearing anything.
You're naked.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
your skin.
Yeah.
That's what we see is
that's,
your skin.
Exactly. And that's part of what we also could refer to as programming too, for people that feel like they need to assume a role into their lives. As they move forward into their future, they take this idea that they have to play a role because it's better to play that role of being this kind of person. You're programmed sometimes to think that you have to fulfill that exact story for you.
And that's what happens.
Yes.
The liar, you begin to see the liar that burns within my needing.
Yes.
What you're needing, you need to cover up, you need to hide this, it all comes from that programming.
Yes. That needing to be a role, performing a role, being some sort of a person, whether it's for employment or work needs, or for, what you feel like you have to fulfill for your family. I feel like sometimes people feel overwhelmed by the fact that they have to put on this costume and or this other skin. and perform this role for reasons that suddenly at some point they feel overwhelmed. And they also feel like sometimes their skin can be thin. There can be thin skin. But
Well, or that how I wish I'd chosen darkness from cold.
yes, I like
To
that line.
me, the darkness is that shadow aspect of
Yes,
us. I wish
yes.
I had looked into those shadows and acknowledged them
Yes.
and saw them for what they are.
Yes, because then it says, how I wish I had screamed out loud. Because if you acknowledge those shadows, then you can feel your feelings.
Right. And instead, they chose cold.
And
they
they-
chose to shut down all those beautiful feelings
Yes.
that make you scream, that make you upset, that
Yeah.
make you. We are human.
Yeah.
We're here to experience the darkness
Yes.
as well as the light, because
Yes.
that is how the light can see that it's light is
Yes.
through the darkness.
It isn't going, you're not going to be able to see the electron unless you look at the electron. You have to be able to experience your existence. You have to acknowledge that it's there. You've got to look at the darkness sometimes and scream so you can release it.
Because if you don't, then you find nothing.
Yeah,
Instead,
you're not going to find
I
any meaning.
found no meaning.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I know that everybody in the next line, he says, I guess it's time I run far, far away, find comfort in pain. All pleasure's the same. It just keeps me from trouble. And I'm looking at this and I'm thinking, wow, there's comfort in pain, because in that moment of not being able to see those shadows, scream out that feeling and release that, without finding meaning, you're going to feel like you need to run away and hide. And then the things that we create, thinking of, those thoughts that creep in that aren't our friends, they're not love for ourselves, they are feelings of unworthiness. We find comfort in that pain that we feel like we're suddenly inflicting on ourselves, because we've isolated ourselves by running far away.
Well, that's what I believe sometimes we have to do.
Yes.
And that's what he says. I guess it's time I run far, far away, find comfort in pain.
In those shadows.
Right. In other words, I've got to sit with myself.
Yes,
I
yes.
have to disconnect from others right now that are telling me, do this, you got to do that,
Yes, yes, yes.
and just sit with myself in the pain,
Yeah.
and be okay with it. That's what comfort in pain means to me,
Yeah.
is to just acknowledge the pain and be okay with it instead of pushing it away or burying it.
And trying to
Allow
find.
yourself
Yeah.
to feel it.
Yes.
All pleasure's the same, it just keeps me from trouble. All pleasure, meaning for me, I believe it's talking about earthly pleasure.
Yes.
Not necessarily the love, the joy,
Right.
the comfort
Yes,
that's
yes.
within that we find.
Yes.
It's physical pleasure.
Absolutely.
It's earthly pleasure. And
Absolutely.
it does. It keeps you from trouble, but it doesn't help you transmute the pain.
No, because if you're covering the pain with something that gives you pleasure and it's all the same and it just keeps you from that trouble, the pleasure is helping somebody avoid. As they would say,
Exactly.
like, denial is not a river, just a river in Egypt. And that's, and I agree, like, I know that, like, it hides my true shape, like Dorian Gray. And that is interesting to me, because if you're not familiar with the Dorian Gray story or the character, Dorian Gray is a gentleman that has a painting that was painted of him, and he continues to live almost immortally, but he is mortal in the sense that if the painting gets destroyed, then he will die. If there's any aging that goes on, it has to happen within the painting. Otherwise, he lives as young as the painting is. And so his life is dependent upon this picture of himself that is framed on a wall. And
Which hides his true shape.
It hides his true shape, because, that's the thing that I know that sometimes people would love that kind of supernatural aspect of our lives of never aging and all of these things. But at the same time, we have to acknowledge and believe and accept and love our true shape. We have got
Yes,
to.
I've heard what they say, but I'm not here for trouble. It's more than just words.
Yes, more than just words.
It's just tears and rain.
Yes.
In other words, for me, I see that as the washing away
Yes.
of, I'm not here to cause trouble, but there is no but. It's just words, tears and rain.
Yeah.
Shedding of the tears is allowing those feelings, that darkness, that screaming, whatever, that meaning to come through in
absolutely,
life.
absolutely. And I that really resonates with me. I love that way of reading those lyrics, because then, as we move forward through this, it's like there are comments that he makes on hiding his true shape, like Dorian Gray. But in the end, it's more than just words. It's just tears and rain. It's feeling those feelings. It's feeling the tears, and it's feeling the rain, and it's experiencing those.
Allowing the rain to wash away.
Yes,
the tears.
experiencing those feelings and those emotions and those the tears and the rain, so that the wash away can happen, because you've got to release it.
Yeah.
And then he says, how I wish I could walk through the doors of my mind, hold memory close at hand, help me understand those years. And to me, that's where I see him looking back on memories and, how I wish I could walk through the doors of that mind and hold those memories close at hand to understand the past, which we are releasing and washing away. And that is part of what I see there.
Yeah, sometimes the doors of my mind I can see as that aspect of ourself that we picked up coming into this world from Gaia, from our ancestors. In other words, if I could see why I hold this codependency inside of me, if I could walk through those doors and hold that memory close at hand of the past lives, it would help me understand
it. Yeah. And then the years that I spent feeling that way, and how I wish I could choose between heaven and hell, how I wish I would save my soul. I'm so cold from fear. And that is something that, that does resonate with me, in the sense of, what does the Lord's Prayer say? As some people describe it as the Lord's Prayer in, Lord, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. And to me, that's what that speaks to, whether you believe it's God or source or other entities. How I wish I could choose between heaven and hell, save my soul, because no matter what anybody feels, I am certain that fear is a very cold feeling. And so I that's what I feel like, is it's not necessarily a lament. It's almost like the prayer.
Or just the fact of I wish I could save my soul. I wish I could choose, period.
Yes.
Because in that comes the cold from fear. They're so afraid to make a choice that they're sitting there not knowing, I wish I could choose.
Yeah, not knowing that they could dive into the pool or not. They're just touching their toe. They're just barely touching the surface of it.
We are here to say you create your reality.
Yes.
You have that choice all the time.
Every second.
Yes. How I wish I could choose between heaven and hell. You do have that choice.
Every second,
and you choose to sit in that place that you may call hell, or that place you may call heaven. It's your choice, and it comes from within. And coming past the cold from fear is letting go of that fear and finding the love and the light within.
Yes, and that's why I like.
That's why he says, I guess it's time to run far, far away, find comfort in pain. All pleasure's the same, it just keeps me from trouble. Hides my true shape like Dorian Gray.
Yes.
I've heard what they say, but I'm not here for trouble. Far, far away, find comfort in pain. All pleasure's the same, it just keeps
Keeps
me from trouble. It's more than just words, it's just tears and rain.
Yeah, and he repeats that, and that's where I like that, because I know that in some cases we could have moments where we feel like, we even might meet people where we feel like, they're just trying to kind of put on that costume that they have to wear every day, and their way of finding comfort in pain is basically recycling and cycling and cycling and living in a loop of those things. And okay, there is that side, but I do like what you said, and that is how I wish I could, not wish I could run far, far away. I guess it's time to run far, far away and find comfort in the pain of facing my shadows, facing my
Fear.
facing the
makes me
things.
so cold.
Yes, because all the pleasure's the same. It just kind of keeps me from that trouble of seeing these things, that I can find comfort in that pain and just those things that hide my true shape, and that's why I feel like that, and I love where it says, I've heard what they say, but I'm not here for trouble, meaning I'm not here to cause trouble for myself. I just need to face these things.
Yeah.
And
it's tears and rain.
And rain,
And
yes.
what I love about that is, not for me, rain is part of the expression of Gaia cleansing, having also to cleanse and release. And in doing that, it also feeds Earth.
It does. It's a constant
The
recycling
water,
of, yeah.
right, plants need the water. They need to be able to grow, and they do that through the sun and rain and the nutrients in Earth, which we are Earth, and our tears are simply the rain falling.
Yes.
To
Oh, that's
help
beautiful.
us grow.
Wow, that's beautiful.
To all, the garden within. This is how we can help ourselves flourish and grow, through allowing us to find comfort in pain.
Yes.
Knowing that all pleasure's the same,
Yeah.
keeping you from trouble. More than just words.
Yes, it is. And tears there are some tears that we shed that have qualities that are pain relieving. They are not just the water that falls from your eyes every single time you cry. There are qualities to your tears that are honestly nurturing and supportive and relieving when you're in these moments. It is very, very good for us to feel those tears. And they can be difficult, but they're so good for us.
And for me, the rain is also the collective's tears.
Oh, wow. Yes. Oh, wow. Yes, yes.
It's,
Yeah.
we're here on this beautiful journey playing a game called life.
Yes.
Where we get to have experiences.
We do.
And we get to choose whether it's heaven or hell.
We get to wear clothes that might be a role that we're playing. Maybe we choose to be the emperor wearing no clothes, although I like to stay out of jail. But I do love that. Yeah,
Yeah, and finding the darkness from the cold.
Yes.
Learning to find your meaning.
Yeah.
Know that there is meaning. Everyone, there is a meaning.
There is definitely a
in
meaning.
their life.
Yes.
And it may be just to exist.
Absolutely.
So that you can cry and allow others to cry.
Yes, and to feel, to experience.
Yes.
Beautiful.
And the tears can also be joy.
They can be. Oh my gosh.
Joy-filled tears.
I don't know.
Especially
Yeah.
when you find comfort in pain.
Yes.
Because behind the dark, there is a gift.
There is a gift.
In transmuting the darkness and moving through the pain, there is always light.
There is always
a gift on the other side.
It's true. And I believe that from chaos and darkness comes the light.
Oh,
and comes the
yes.
word and comes the voice and comes all of the things. And so I know that it's sometimes maybe hard to digest that idea, but that really resonates with me, Donna.
Yes.
That really resonates with me. Well,
I think so too. Really, really. Thank you, Gail.
yes, thank you very much.
For a very, very, it was a deep but yet very profound
Oh my, yeah.
discovery in these lyrics. I am so, so happy that we got to do this Tears and Rain
Me
by
too.
James Blunt.
Incredible, incredible lyrics. Thank you,
Yep.
Gail.
Yep. And remember, keep sending us your requests. We got them from the radio station and we are working them now.
Working
Yay.
through them, yeah, we're getting through them. We didn't exactly have an order. I started to look through these lyrics and I started to shuffle them around myself. So I got to be honest, I might have shuffled them out of their order. So we don't know what order we're going in.
We didn't even receive them in order.
No, so we're
just keep listening
yeah.
because we are doing requests now. Thank you all very, very much for listening and
Yes.
being here with us.
Absolutely.
On Lyrical Wisdom.
Yeah.
Please send us your requests to
lyricalwisdomshow@gmail.com. That's lyricalwisdomshow@gmail.com. You can also send them to 99.1 FM WQEE.
Thank you so much, Bruce.
Thank you, Donna.